love to do?
Well, of course, I was on Broadway and got quite a nice debut with a lovely Tony for that, which is now in the Smithsonian. And then
Child stars who completely vanished from Hollywood then and now. Hollywood doesn't just create stars, it consumes them. In part 1, we looked at child actors who either walked away or were tragically discarded by the system. But we're not done yet. Part 2 takes us deeper into the mystery. From actors who vanished completely to those who reinvented themselves far from the glitz of the red carpet, these stories are filled with loss, redemption, and unexpected turns. Let's dive into more incredible stories of once famous kids who became whispers in Hollywood history. Beckett, the original little rascal who couldn't escape the spotlight. Scotty Beckett had that mischievous sparkle. As one of the earliest members of the Our Gang comedies, he became a Depression-era favorite. He played the younger versions of major stars and was even cast in the Jolson Story as young Al Jolson. But fame didn't come with a manual. After a string of promising roles, his personal life began unraveling fast. By his 20s, Scotty was spiraling. Alcohol, barbiturates, arrests. He couldn't shake the child star label, and Hollywood stopped calling. In 1968, he checked into a nursing facility after a mysterious beating. 2 days later, he was found dead from an overdose. He was just 38. His legacy? A cautionary tale about how early success doesn't always lead to a happy ending. Freddy Bartholomew, MGM's English prodigy. In the 1930s, Freddy Bartholomew had something few child actors did: poise. His roles in David Copperfield, Little Lord Fauntleroy, and Captains Courageous made him a household name. But behind the polished accent and gentlemanly charm was chaos. A brutal custody battle between his birth parents and aunt drained much of his fortune. By his mid-teens, Hollywood interest dried up. So Freddy pivoted. He joined the Air Force in World War II and later built a successful career in advertising. While others chased fading fame, Freddy quietly thrived in a whole new world. When he died in 1992, many colleagues didn't even know he'd been a movie star. That was just the first chapter of a very full life.
I couldn't be lobbying for the part hard enough. I think that I should be Fester. I can do the voice. Just shoot him in the back. What you doing Wednesday? And I think what I'll have to do is shave my head, get some stark key lighting, moody, do the dark circles, put on the death cloak.
Jackie Coogan, the boy who changed child labor laws. He made the world cry beside Charlie Chaplin in The Kid. By 10, Jackie Coogan had made millions. But when he turned 21, he discovered his money was gone, spent by his mother and stepfather. His lawsuit led to the famous Coogan Law, which protects child actors' earnings today. Jackie kept acting into adulthood, eventually becoming Uncle Fester in the Addams Family TV show. But his biggest legacy wasn't a role. It was changing how the industry treats child performers.
Tina Cole was my daughter-in-law for a while. Isn't that funny? We were doing My Three Sons.
Beverly Washburn, from Old Yeller to Quiet Legacy. Beverly Washburn was never the biggest star, but she was always working. The Lone Ranger, Leave It to Beaver, Old Yeller. Directors loved her emotional range, especially her ability to cry on cue. As she got older, roles slowed, but Beverly transitioned smoothly into smaller parts and eventually walked away with no scandal, no drama. Today, she lives in Las Vegas, attends classic film events, and shares her story through her memoir, Real Tears. She didn't crash and burn. She simply stepped aside.
Oh, it was delicious. They certainly were receptive.
To see you?
Lots of laughs and applause, and they were lovely.
June Lockhart, a career that quietly endured. Many forget that June Lockhart started acting at 13 in A Christmas Carol. While her child roles weren't blockbuster material, her adult career made her iconic. She became the TV mom America loved in shows like Lassie and Lost in Space. Unlike many young performers, June avoided the pitfalls of fame and achieved what few could: longevity. Today, at nearly 100, she's one of the last surviving links to Hollywood's golden age. Still sharp, still smiling, and still grateful. Gloria Jean, the star who chose peace over fame. Once groomed to be the next Deanna Durbin, Gloria Jean starred in over 20 musicals before she was 21. But the market for innocent, song-filled films began fading. Rather than fight for a place in a changing industry, Gloria left. She took jobs as a receptionist, raised her son, and lived a comfortable life far from studio lots. Her death in 2018 was quiet, much like her departure from fame. She chose normalcy over nostalgia and never looked back.
We used to pay attention to everything but social media, but now our eyes
ask
on
the
the wall.
entrepreneurs, who's doing your social media? How are you making it happen without...
Kevin Corcoran, Disney's favorite kid who moved behind the camera. Kevin Corcoran, known as Moochie, was a Disney regular in classics like Old Yeller, The Shaggy Dog, and Swiss Family Robinson. But Kevin saw the writing on the wall. Instead of struggling to stay in front of the camera, he went behind it. He studied film and worked as a director and producer on shows like Baywatch and Quantum Leap. His second act was long and successful. When he passed away in 2015, he left behind two careers, one as a beloved Disney kid and another as a respected TV professional.
When she first started on the show, and I was a little precocious, and I was like kicking her under the table, and she took me aside and she said, "Young man," she goes, "you're a professional."
Jon Provost, Timmy from Lassie who found a new life. Everyone knew his face as Timmy in Lassie. For 7 years, Jon Provost was one of TV's most recognized kids. But he left the show at 14, with his family choosing not to renew his contract. He pursued a few more roles, but quickly shifted gears, going to college and later entering real estate. Today, he occasionally appears at fan conventions and even wrote a memoir, Timmy's in the Well. But his real achievement? Finding balance and peace after early fame. Bonita Granville, from teen sleuth to power executive. Bonita Granville made waves playing Nancy Drew in the late 1930s. She had range, starring in dramatic roles like These Three, which earned her an Oscar nod at 13. But her most impressive act came later. After marrying businessman Jack Rather, Bonita became an executive producer on the Lassie series and built a media empire. She died in 1988 as a successful entrepreneur, proving that sometimes the best roles are played off-screen. Martin Stevens, horror icon who chose silence. Martin Stevens terrified audiences as the haunting child in Village of the Damned and the Innocents. His eerie calm made him a horror legend before he hit puberty. And then, he vanished. Turns out, Martin chose a private life, becoming an architect and avoiding the spotlight for decades. Only recently has he reappeared for interviews about his early roles, treating his acting past like a dream he once had. Johnny Crawford, from The Rifleman to retro crooner. As Mark McCain in The Rifleman, Johnny Crawford played one of TV's most beloved sons. He even had a music career on the side with charting hits. But Hollywood doesn't always make room for teen idols to grow up. As acting roles dried up, Johnny leaned into his passion for big band music, forming his own vintage-style orchestra. He stayed out of the tabloids and stayed true to himself. He passed in 2021 after battling Alzheimer's, remembered for talent, class, and quiet reinvention. Jay North, the truth behind Dennis the Menace. Jay North was the face of mischief on Dennis the Menace. But his off-camera life was anything but playful. He was emotionally abused by his guardians, pushed to deliver perfect performances while suffering in silence. After the show ended, acting offers dried up, and Jay joined the Navy to escape the trauma. Later, he worked in corrections and avoided the spotlight. Now in his 70s, Jay is outspoken about the damage child stardom can cause. His advocacy has helped push Hollywood to better protect young performers. These were the kids who made us laugh, cry, and believe in movie magic. Some were forgotten, others found new lives far from the camera. But all of them remind us of one truth. Childhood fame rarely comes without a cost. If you want more behind-the-scenes stories of classic Hollywood, hit that like button and subscribe. Which of these former child stars shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next one.